when I first got on the job, I spent my first 13 years at one particular hall. That particular hall was a training center, and my acting captain was very pro-safety. He liked to see you wearing your mask all the time. They wouldn't let you get off the truck without you wearing your mask, even if it was a garbage can out in the middle of the street. Put your mask on, because you don't know what's inside. And it was drilled into us.
And you're all relatively junior people. You're all relatively fresh out of the training academy. So you're up on the safety and the health and safety. When you're dealing with guys like me, old guys with 28, 29 years on, do they have that same concern for properly getting dressed, following the procedures?
It's force of habit, I think. From the beginning, we were trained to wear everything a certain way, whereas they weren't. So they had to kind of learn it, you know, as it came in. They didn't have flash hoods, right? They didn't wear masks to an overhaul. So they could fall out of habit. You know, we were always in habit.
You get the older people that would tend not to put on the mask, and we're there and we're saying, hold on a second, let me put it on. And when we put it on, they're like, oh yeah, that's a good idea, I should put that on too.
Yeah, I find a lot of the senior guys will look to us for the training that we've had to see what's new, you know, what am I missing. So I found that myself, I've been able to share some of the stuff that I've learned with the older guys.
Do you have any job-related concerns for your long-term health?
I find that there's a discrepancy between when you don your mask. I mean, you have to assess the situation. We don't just hop out of the truck all masked up every time. There's a few, you know, maybe 30 seconds where you're assessing the situation, you know, whether it's carbon monoxide call, you're reading, you know, the detector, and then you realize, okay, we have to mask up, but you've been standing there breathing in whatever substance for the last 30 seconds.
Our guys mask up pretty quick, and I don't look around to see what anyone else is doing. It's just, if you're unsure, mask up. Yeah,
and the guys, just the same as me, the guys on my truck say, if you ever feel like you need to put your mask on, and no one else is doing it, just go ahead and put your mask on. No one's going to say anything to you.
We do the best we can with what we have. We have good equipment. We have SCBA is the best protection we have for our lungs and heart.
My cancer came on, the symptoms showed themselves very early. So I was stage 1, stage 2 when I was diagnosed, which is a good place to be from a treatment standpoint, a survivability standpoint. You know, the first question that came up was when I was diagnosed, you got cancer, well, what's my survivability rate? And you know, the doctor that made the diagnosis basically told me, you know, you just won the lottery. You got non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and survivability rate with non-Hodgkin's is probably greater than any other cancer. So you got the pick of the cancers you want to get if you get cancer. It was kind of a ridiculous statement, but it really gave me a lot of strength to carry through my treatment. I started my journey through my chemo. It was pretty shocking. I had a 4-month-old son. You know, I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know if I was going to make it to 37 because I was 36 when I was diagnosed, and my birthday was 2 weeks after I was diagnosed. So to have made it to 40 is awesome.
Happy birthday, dear Daddy.
I can't wait to, you know, to get to 50, to 60, you know, to 70.
All right, help Daddy blow the candles out. All right, make a wish, make a wish.
I have a beautiful wife, a wonderful son.
Can we have some cake now?
Sure. You want a cake?
How old am I, Dylan?
40.
I'm very fortunate in life. I'm very happy, very happy.
Had headaches. I had cancer, brain tumor. Went to the hospital. Went in, and in a week I had surgery, and after that radiation. About a few months later, took chemo, and after that it's pretty good for 8 years. It's tiring, it's takes a lot out of you, but I had a good wife. Had a nurse as a wife. She kept care of me, and I'm glad she was there. We go to these appointments, the doctors tell you stuff, but at the time you really don't take it all in yourself, but she had everything down. All the medicines, you know, what I had to take, so. But it's been a good process. I'd rather be on the job, because I always thought I'd go back. But after a while you lose your stamina, you lose, like I couldn't go back on a truck because I couldn't be reliable to the other guys. I couldn't go into a fire and have the same endurance as them. And I've, you know, tried going to the gym and stuff. It's just not there. I'm back on chemo. I started in January again. It came back. But from scans that we've been getting is the tumor's going away. I don't know if it'll totally go away, but it's looking good. It's backing off, so it's not, hopefully not going to be as pressing as it was. And hopefully we can have a good life. We're now pregnant. 8 years ago we couldn't get pregnant because of the chemo, being on chemo and everything. So basically we're starting a family now. And she's due in July. I look forward to bringing her up, taking care of her. We wanted a child 8 years ago, but it just didn't happen. It wasn't meant to be. Heck, the room up there is all painted, and crib will be here next week, and she's only going to be born in July, so we're ready.
I was diagnosed approximately 4 years ago with brain cancer. I came back from hunting and I was sick while I was up there. I saw the doctor down here. She said, get your eyes checked. The optometrist that checked me out, she didn't like what she saw. She sent me to an ophthalmologist at the hospital. He did a CAT scan, and that's when they broke the news to us that it wasn't, my eyes were okay, but it's the tumor on my brain that is the problem. They don't know exactly how long it had been there or how long it had been growing. And they sent me to a neurologist within a week, just prior to Christmas. He said he'd operate just before the new year. And I spent New Year's in the hospital, in ICU. And after the operation, what I remember, the doctor said he got approximately 70% of it. But the 70% that he got was 70% of what he could see. There was all kinds of tumor woven in amongst the, if you want to call it the conduit of the brain, or in amongst the brain that he couldn't see. We basically underwent chemotherapy for 1.5 years, and then tumor stopped growing for about 9 months, and then it started to grow again, so we had to get back on it. And the last time we were on it, I was feeling quite ill while I was taking the drugs, so I needed a break again. So I talked to the doctor, and he says, well, it's stopped growing again, so he said, we can give you a break from them. And at this point in time, it hasn't grown in approximately the last 6 months. It's staying stable. It's been hard at times. My motivation's been affected drastically. My emotions have been played with. My memory is a big thing. There's a lot of times when I do forget things that I've said or done. And my kids, they can shrug it off and go to school, and amongst their, oh, that's just Dad, you know. But it has been hard on them. They both understand that someday I may not be around. This may be cutting my life shorter. But I'd like to be around for the weddings at least. And as far as I know, I will be.
Going into a fully involved fire, the toxic fumes in there, it's very important that we can actually penetrate with clean air and have a good endurance while we're in there. And at the same time, well, we'd like to go back to our families at night, though, so, and for as long as we can in our life. Therefore, I'm not the kind of person that would like to be caught with cancer down the road and so on. So I'm forcing myself more and more to wear the SCBA.
I tell to my young firefighters that it's nice to be a volunteer firefighter. It's nice to be all dressed up. It's nice to have all the safety equipment. But if you don't wear it, you won't be able to go home at night. And I want all the firefighters to go home at night safely and healthy to their family.
Safety, number one. Always wear your full protective equipment. It's very important for your safety, and it's very important if you want to come back to your family.
You want to use your protective equipment. The city gives it to you. Use it the way you're supposed to use it. Use it to the way you're trained. And it'll protect you, and hopefully you don't end up in the same situation I did, being off work for a year and a half.
Just follow the rules and regs. Do what you're supposed to do. Safety first, always.
For those rookies that are out there and you've got older firefighters in the hall that are telling you not to, you don't need to wear your mask or you don't need to put it on, even after the fire's out. You don't need to have it on. You do, because that's the worst time. When all the carcinogens are in the air, you may not be able to see it, but they're still there and you're breathing it in if you take your mask off. Keep wearing it during overhaul and you'll be a safer person for it. And you may last a few years longer on the job.